Welcome to the Legacy of Love, the return of the Divine Cosmic Mother. And I'm your host, Sherry Lynn. And my guest today is Gaitana, and I am so excited to have this interview with her. I've begun to get to know her on a deeper level by taking one of her training offerings. And I know she's just such a beautiful soul. You're going to feel that. And I'm sure you're going to resonate with what she shares. So the title of today's topic is Simplify Your Way to Source, Trusting Divine Will. So as we align with Source and trust our divine purpose, the presence of love, truth, and action is revealed. This is the foundational frequency of 5D realities. Are you ready to manifest your heart's desire and reconcile with the Universal Mother? My guess is that you said yes. So before we begin, let me share a little bit about Gaitana and her partner, Yantal, who's not here with us, but he is here energetically holding space. Gaitana is a spiritual guide devoted to serving the enlightenment and ascension of humanity. And both of them focus their service has been on guiding spiritual seekers like me and like you, who are ready to embrace their divinity and to align with their authentic truth, their authentic life purpose, and to develop faith in the highest vision. Gaitana and Yantal are eager to support the awakening and training of new spiritual leaders and masters who are willing to devote their lives to self-realization and to eventually engage in an innovative kind of humanitarian, heart-based service. Welcome, Gaitana.
Hi, Sherry. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying yes, because before you said yes, well, when you first said yes, you didn't know me. And I suppose it was because, my invitation was on a New Earth One platform, which, by the way, New Earth One and Loren, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's allowing me to expand and to grow and to really deepen into my heart-centered offering. And I get to meet beautiful souls like you. And so you are now my teacher, one of my teachers, and I want to honor and acknowledge that first. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for touching my heart and allowing me to grow. And so the title of our summit is The Legacy of Love, the Return of the Divine Cosmic Mother. Can I ask you, what was it about those? Although the title has changed a few times. So what was it that had you say yes? Let me ask you that. What was it that had you say yes and no? Because this is part of our journey, trusting that call, trusting that inner knowing.
So that's the answer. There was a very strong resonance. And every time I have an opportunity to share a little bit of the Ascended Master teachings, it's a yes. And especially talking about the return of the Cosmic Mother. I've been creating with the Divine Mother and Divine Father for medicinal separation for a long while. And every time, again, I have an opportunity to share a little tool, practice, a message, a transmission, I honor that invitation.
That's so beautiful. And it's funny because I am really beginning to recognize that every single time I'm doing something that I think is about taking a step out and moving me that direction, I discovered that no, it's actually about what I'm going to, there's some movement, there's some growth, there's something in it for me. And so like you were that. So what happened was, because I reached out and you said yes, I started paying attention and signed up for your email list. And then all of a sudden you had this offering. And there was something about those words, just reading those words about the Christ consciousness. And I know that's not for everybody, but that was like when you recognize something is so in alignment, you just it's like this magnet. It's like this is where I'm going, whether my mind wants to go there or not. And I think this is what's happening, right? For all of us, many of us anyway.
And what I found out a long time ago is that every event or interview, it's an initiation. Have you noticed how before, for example, an interview, maybe a week before, a month before sometimes, you start getting upgrades, you start preparing for that. As you said, there are blessings coming without opportunity. And so it's an initiation. And whenever there is a divine initiation, there I am. I love that because I receive something, I can give something, and I know that this is blessing everybody listen.
That is so beautiful. And it makes so much sense, but my mind wouldn't have known that, right? My mind thought it was doing certain things that it needed to do. And yet my heart, I was receiving, and I just knew that. And I didn't know what it was about you, but I just like, there's something that I'm being called to. And I told you that. And when I started my training with you just a couple of weeks ago, it was, well, the first day I cried. I cried because it was like recognizing home. And yeah. So I don't know why I'm staying on this so much, but I feel like that's part of the Divine Mother. I feel like it's part of her nurturing and her helping us return.
Yes. And I also think, if I might share this, it has to do with soul retrieval. So many souls, exactly the ones listening to you and I today, they are maybe prepared for soul liberation. And soul liberation is a phase in our evolution when we are ready to know that we are whole, that we are complete in ourselves, though we might have a fragmented mindset still, okay? But it's the soul that is ready for completion. So why are you drawn to me? I'm drawn to you, etc. Every one of us has certain light codes activated in our light body. And so that's the fastest way for the soul to complete itself. It's the same process when people say, I need to go to Egypt, I need to go to Greece, I need to go to this place or other, because there's something there, there's something my soul needs to recover from that place or end up healing in that place. And we go traveling, okay? So it's the same. Why? Because that place would have certain codes that we need activated within. Right? So that's how the magnificence of Father, Mother, God, let's talk about the Divine Mother today. She's just helping us through love, reconnect with the ones, can be a place, a person, a mentor, who has the codes activated that we are willing to activate in ourselves. And it's like a cosmic transmission that happens. It's a very silent transmission that has nothing to do, a little to do with the words that we will be sharing today, but it's the radiation of energy. Okay, so that's why I might feel home to you and you might feel home to me, because the exchange of codes going on is what's really happening.
That is so beautiful. Wow.
And that is perfect. Like, there are codes in you that are awakening something in me, and there are codes in me that are awakening something in you. It's always a perfect exchange.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
I can feel that. And this journey, when we allow our mind, the ego, to just be silent for a little tiny bit and to know that all is okay and that this is the soul journey. Everything in our experience, like even the contraction, because I'm going through contraction right now. Not this moment while you and I are talking, but something in my own environment is causing that contraction. And yet this time, it's not the same thing. I'm going through it with as a totally different, I'm different.
Yes, because your soul is ready.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Divine Mother. Let's already bring her in consciously, the Divine Mother. So for some, she could be the representation of Mother Mary. She could be representing the Divine Mother for many of us. And already Mother Mary has been presented to humanity in so many ways. For others can be Devi, one of the Hindu goddesses. For some others is Kali or Lakshmi. So we have the Hindu cosmology also. So it doesn't really matter. The cosmic mother is not a person. It's a frequency, the same as the father. And she or he will be presented to us exactly in the way that we need to meet that frequency. Okay. So let's not create any separation by saying, I understand in this way or that way. It doesn't really matter. However, she has reached you, okay? That's it, that's the frequency. And the beauty, and it's what you might be experiencing, the core frequency of the Divine Mother, at least for me, is the frequency of grace.
Mm-hmm.
And I have shared many times that when we start the journey of this God realization, first we begin with a little bit of effort because there's a lot of personality and there's the outer mind wanting to push things and to get things done. It's the ego, the personality, the ego construct. So we begin with a lot of effort. Then that turns into discipline. So when we're disciplined, when we do our decrees, invocations, in our case, the light codes, our practices, there's not so much effort involved. What the discipline brings to us is momentum. We create a rhythm of invocation. We cultivate enough energy, and that energy is enough to manifest a new reality. But then, even if we are very disciplined, we need something more, and that's the touch of grace. And that comes when we are ready, when we are living in dignity, when we feel that we deserve that experience, and that can only come through a liberated being on earth or in heaven, okay? So that's what the Divine Mother brings, is the touch of grace, where there's a miracle happening that requires no effort but full surrender. So that's what she really is bringing in. Would you surrender to grace?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Can I share something about that?
Yes, of course.
So I don't think you know this, but I had an experience with both my eyes that led me to go within. And I had never had a relationship with God because I thought God was a masculine form in the sky, and I really didn't agree with all of the beliefs that had been culturally ingrained. So that was part of my journey. It was an opening for me, right? But at one point, I knew as I was starting to set up and know that I was going to be of service, I wanted to call my business or whatever with will and grace. And now as you're talking, I understand. I mean, I always knew it was about the divine, but I understand, I think the divine will, maybe the masculine form, and the grace, the mother form, the father mother, was how it was being I was interpreting that energy that I was receiving and understanding that I was receiving both will and grace.
Absolutely. So you touched the core of manifestation. The father represents the will. What is the will? Every planet and all the kingdoms or the species living on a planet, we have to respect a certain creative pattern. So that's what the divine will is. There's a pattern of creation. We cannot come here and do whatever we please, though we have the free will and we can do that experiment and we know the consequences of that. But there's a pattern to everything, a pattern of creation. So the father aspect in us, the father divine aspect in us, right, is the one that gives us the will. The will is the vision, God's vision, what we have to be doing, what we came here for, right? So when we connect with the Divine Father, what we receive is that pattern of creation, what needs to be done, okay? So the feminine or the mother is the one receiving the vision. And the mother has to trust the pattern. If we don't trust that that needs to be done, we will be doing something else. So as a divine feminine, we receive the will of the Father, we respect, we trust that. It's like when Mother Mary was told, you're going to have Jesus in your womb, and it was through an archangel, Gabriel, right? So she believed in that vision. And she had the right container, the right vessel, the right temple that she could cultivate to receive that vision. So the mother receives, holds, trusts. And then the father, in turn, surrenders to the mother. It's all in us, surrenders to the mother, knowing she will manifest according to the divine will. The father has full faith in the mother, that she received that immaculate concept. That's what the mother does. She holds the immaculate concept for all creation, for the planet, for humanity, and she will manifest only that. So the power of the divine feminine is to trust the father, to trust the masculine, receive the vision, and hold the immaculate concept. What does that mean in everyday reality? We want to hold the immaculate concept. We can call that an intention. We have a creative intention, right? We want to create something.
Mm-hmm.
Really, how long can we hold that perfected pattern before the ego comes in, negativity comes in, competition comes in, impossibility comes in, etc. So holding the immaculate concept means if your I am has told you that something is possible, you believe in that. You concentrate all your energy till that happens. And you're not convinced by what the ego will bring to you, which is confusion, negativity, and all the impossibility. Okay? So that is to have a very strong feminine. And that's what Mother Mary did for Jesus, the being, and Jesus, the mission. You have to hold the immaculate concept of a mission also. Otherwise, it falls apart. And there are energetic principles as to how we hold that. Okay, so that's what Mother Mary is offering us, for example, today.
Mm.
So it's trust and surrender. The message.
I've never heard it explained that way. That is so beautiful. And it makes so much like, I don't even know what to say because I can feel it. I can feel the truth of all that. And my mind is trying to still like, wow, it's always amazing when you know you've been guided and you know that you've been taking the steps, but you finally realize that, wow, I've been guided this whole time. I just didn't know. And it is learning to trust and to cultivate that relationship, even with self, right? Like with so many of us, since we're talking about love, this love can only like it comes to us. It's in us, and then we are unaware of it.
Yeah.
Until all of a sudden something happens that has us want to seek it.
So what I'm being guided to share is that, so what is to hold this highest vision, this highest intention? And what happens when we don't? So when we don't, we fall from grace. Grace would be that inner experience when we just believe in what divinity is saying. We just believe in the voice of the I am. And by the way, I am is the divine masculine and feminine. Okay? It's alpha and omega. So I is alpha, am is omega, masculine, feminine, God in us. So when do we fall from grace? Or how do we fall from grace? We complain, we believe in the belief system, we believe in negativity, that things are impossible, that we cannot make it, okay? So that's falling from grace, really. And it's our choice. Either we hold the highest frequency, and that requires discipline and certain practices that we have to be doing to hold the high frequency, the high vibe, or we fall from grace. So falling from grace would be communing with the mass consciousness, and then everything becomes impossible. We know that. So there's something we're not aware of on a daily basis. So how do we hold that highest vision? We all know what we want. We all know what we desire, don't we? If we take just a few moments and we connect with our hearts, there's a creative impulse in all of us. Mm-hmm. It can be more alive in some than in others, but we do know what we desire. But then we think it's not for us, right? But we have that. So if we nurture that impulse in us, that desire, that longing, and instead of complaining or focusing on what we don't want, what is not working, that's falling from grace. We just hold that vision and we pray. We do the invocations. We chant the light codes in our technology, okay? And it's all that. That's how we hold the frequency. So I imagine that most listening are in a family context, or they have relationships they're also serving in this incarnation. That tends to be a more difficult path when we have others to take care of. Okay, but that's what our soul chose to be experiencing. Notice how on a daily basis, how often we complain about other people's behaviors. Like, I don't like what my husband is doing. I don't like what my wife is doing. My children are doing. My friends are doing. If that same energy in that moment, instead of going into complaint and amplifying what we don't want, we just stop for a moment, take a deep breath and say, okay, I'm perceiving limitation. It's not saying that's okay. But what will I add if I complain? More of that, right? What we focus on expands. If in that same moment I pause and say, I'll pray for this person. I'll pray that they can change their behavior. I'll send this person angels, archangels, Elohim, elementals, ascended masters, source energy, whatever you believe in. Yeah. So it's very practical. We complain a lot because we are in a density in the planet where that is favored and it's common behavior. But if we just stop and understand the proper use of life force, do we want to be adding energy to the light or to the shadow? Yeah. So most of the behaviors that we don't like about people around us, that they are still unconscious, we cannot serve them by complaining or magnifying that seeming flaw. It's just saying, I'll pray silently. This is silent work. I'll pray for you. I'll hold the pattern for you. I'll see the Christ, the Buddha, the Master in you, the light in you. Okay. And I know that you're not behaving that way. I'm not denying. I'm not in denial of that. Okay. Because there is the imperfection still manifesting. But I'll help you reconnect with the highest vision. I believe in you. I see you. I see your light. Okay. Because all the imperfection is temporary. It's part of the illusion, but it's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we quickly shift that? We do all our silent practices. And we see the potential in that other one. That's really holding the Immaculate Concept. That's what Mary did. Okay.
You are the first person that I'm almost like speechless with, because it's so deep.
Yeah. And by the way, we can all do this. It's not just Mother Mary. It's not just Jesus. That's the other thing humanity projected. So God is outside of myself, a person in the sky. So God is not a person. It's not outside of yourself. It's neither masculine nor feminine. It's both and more than that, I would say. And the same with the Ascended Masters. We believe there's one Jesus, one Mother Mary. It's all of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of us. They were just mirroring, or are still mirroring, what is possible when we choose that state of consciousness. There's inner work involved, obviously, okay? But it comes through choice. Mm-hmm. And when you make that choice, that's why the Brotherhood, the Great White Brotherhood, they are like this Brotherhood of Ascended Masters, they decided to not go into nirvana, that absolute bliss, and stay around Earth till every human being ascended. It's a bodhisattva vow, right? Why would they do that? And be around suffering and lack, and guiding humanity during ascension. That's the vow they take. It's a vow of love. Mm-hmm. And saying, because we remember all the plan and we are connected with Source, we can make this easier for you. If there was no brotherhood guiding the earth, we would have distracted ourselves already, honestly. Mm-hmm. Because someone has to keep the flame. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there's utter darkness, and we are swallowed up by the darkness, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine the love of Mother Mary, Jesus, Hilarion, El Moria, Lord Lanto, Paul the Venetian, all the Ascended Masters. Some are more known than others. They are keeping the flame on our behalf till we are the keepers of the flame and say, okay, I'll do my part. Because there always have to be masters on earth and in heaven. if we are going to ascend the earth, there have to be representatives of the ascended masters here on earth, because they cannot operate without our will.
Mm-hmm.
So they need us, we need them. And if they were not around us, we wouldn't have a chance, right? Because we wouldn't remember.
Exactly.
We would stay in an unconscious, realm where we don't even know who we are or why we came here for.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this quickening wave of ascension and enlightenment? Because the brotherhood is around, the beings are around. They made the choice to support us. And they are the light in our eyes before we can see, right?
That's so beautiful. And I feel like so many of us think that they're outside of us, that they're separate from us. And yet I don't think that's true. I feel like each one of us carries maybe the frequency, the vibration. So if we're very drawn to, say, Mother Mary, because we're talking about the mother right now, or even Isis or, Kuan Yin or any of those, as we learn about them, each one of them carries their own vibration that we can feel, like we read into it and we know it's not the mind that's experiencing it, it's our body that begins to vibrate with that, the essence of who they are. And I feel like that essence is it, because everything is energy, right? And so we can embody that energy. So we get to choose what energy we want to bring in. Do I want to bring in the energy of light and joy and love and kindness and compassion and, abundance and giving and all those? Or so if we could understand, because this is where I think we're at, right, in humanity, is we're trying to understand energy. And for so long, it's been the mind. Everything has been the mind, the mind. We're so proud of our accomplishments and our achievements, and I'm this and I'm that, and look at me, and very ego. And yet, as we move into this new earth energy of love and unity, it's about each one of us bringing these different beautiful vibrations and essence qualities of who we are and focusing on who am I being, like that's what's important.
And for that, we have to prepare our temple, because
right.
all that we have seen outside of ourselves, now we have to bring into the temple. It's the age of embodiment. No more ideas, philosophy, religious dogma or doctrine. Now we are the embodiment of these virtues.
Mm-hmm.
But for a virtue to really anchor in your field, you have to have a clear container, because you will reject the virtue otherwise. You will say, I'm not that. I can't believe that. I don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And we then
reject
the frequency of
right.
the other, right?
Right.
So, and that's why for many people who are still in the mind,
mm-hmm.
Or understanding this more as philosophy and nice ideas, it's difficult to do the embodiment, because you have to let the light in.
Mm-hmm.
And when you anchor more light, all the entities, all the addictions, all the attachments have to be released. You can't
mm-hmm.
hold both frequencies, right? It's either the truth of who you are or the ego. What it's going to be is either or. It cannot be both. We cannot host both frequencies inside.
Right.
Create truth, and truth will set you free.
Yeah. But I don't think it happens instantly. I think that we surrender more and more and more aspects of what is not in service to my truth. And I can use myself as an example easily. It's because there are some things that were so simple for me to, it's like, that's easy. I can quickly surrender that. And other things, and I feel like that's where that's all ancestral and past life or whatever. It's really inbound into me and harder to let go of. But that's why I came here, was to liberate, to free, to remember all these things. Like it's like the soul wants to grow and evolve, and the soul knows that means I'm going to feel that challenge, that contraction, in order for me to desire to even change. right? To even want to embody more of that. So I don't know if that's not really a question, it's more of a statement, but I know it's not so simple to just, at least for me, it was a process, and it still is a process of letting go. There's still a few things that I'm, pretty attached to, obviously. But they're coming, and they do.
And that's the soul's journey. So the soul, so the personality would be taking over the majority of our lives, incarnations, till the soul is ready for ascension. So the soul kind of wakes up and says, oh, I'm on a journey. I need to take over. And that would be the Kundalini rising. So what is the soul's journey? It's a rise of the Kundalini to meet the Father, right? And that happens really in the heart. So even if the soul can have the intention, okay, I'm ready for enlightenment, I'm ready for change, I'm ready for ascension, or whatever the intention might be initially. We have that initial intention. We are so excited, so enthusiastic about that. That's going to happen. We're going to change the world. But all of a sudden, we start the journey. And there are blockages, all the negativity, the victim body starts to be awakened. What happens? So there's a science to ascension, right? It's not that easy. It's not just the law of attraction. You write in a piece of paper, I want this. Okay.
Right.
Or the empowerment phase. But really, there's a science behind ascension. So what happens is when the soul is ready, we would call that the spiritual awakening. We have a wake-up call. Can be through crisis or vision. Generally, it's more through crisis. We hit rock bottom in a certain area of our lives and we say, okay, I need help. This is not working. So that's the wake-up call. So the journey of the soul starts there. And now the soul, the energy, the Kundalini has to rise, has to go up. What does the Kundalini, the energy, the life force find on its way? Karma. Karma meaning disqualified energy. Is the return of all the energy that we misqualified because we were out of alignment with Father, Mother, God. And that has to be redeemed. So we think that those are obstacles or forms of punishment. No, that's exactly what needs to happen for the soul to get liberated. Because we have to liberate all that energy and transmute it. It doesn't happen without alchemy. Right? And so people start a journey and then run away often because they don't want to deal with their own miscreations. But that's part of the journey of the soul. Yes, we have to do the alchemy of our own misqualified energy. Like we made those choices. Right. We are the only ones cleaning that energy because it's through choice. Okay. So what does the life force energy, the mother rising in us, find along the way? Dirt, debris. Okay. In practical terms. So we have the power to clear our temple, to clear our home, but we have to be willing. And that's how we project the responsibility onto others. And that's how the victim is created. This is happening to me. Who's doing this to me? I don't deserve this. Oh, yes, it's a return of your own creations. Yours. It's your stuff, right? Same as the potential. So with the potential comes the energy to be redeemed. With those records comes the potential. They go hand in hand. And that's how you move forward. It's both. Now, we want the blessings, but we don't want the responsibilities. We want to activate potential without clearing the home, the house, the temple. Right. It doesn't happen that way. Because an ascended master, a mature being, takes full ownership. That's the signature of the master, ownership. You are the source of everything. So you want to ascend your temple, you have to clean it. As your home, you clean it every day, don't you? You have a shower every day. We have to do the same internally, okay? So the rise of the Kundalini will burn and consume and bring to the surface all that is out of alignment. But it's ours, it's inside of us. And we want to project it onto external circumstances or people. That doesn't work. We delay the process by doing that.
Your teachings are so powerful.
It's so true, because the other virtue of the Divine Mother is compassion. You brought in Kuan Yin, right? So compassion, karuna, the karuna consciousness, it's only through compassion, because when you start ascending and you meet your shadow, it's not nice, is it?
No.
And we start condemning ourselves. We start saying, why did I do that? I can't take it. It's too much. So it's only through compassion that we can really, really, really transcend. So this requires, as the soul ascends, we have to be reactivating many frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
And the ascended masters, they all show like a more specific frequency. They all embody all the facets of divinity, okay? But if you connect with El Moria, for example, he outpictures more the frequency of the virtue of the divine will. And if you go to Lord Lanto, or the second ray, that's wisdom, or it could be cosmic love, or purity, or healing. Every ascended master has cultivated a particular frequency on top of all the others, and the same with us. We have an energy signature, if we want to call it that way. So we have to, the embodiment is complete. We have to embody all the divine frequencies in us, because we need all that to ascend.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full curriculum. But then we also make the choice to support one specific ray or one specific virtue, because that's what we have more momentum about, right, in our causal body. And that's our gift to humanity. It's something we have been concentrating on for many lifetimes or parallel timelines, as you want to see this. Everything is happening now, really. So you have gained more momentum on a certain ray of creation. Okay. So for me, for example, it's wisdom and illumination. That's very, very dear to me, and it's bigger, wider in my causal body. So that's my gift. That's what I can bring to humanity. Now, I need to have the will, the love, the purity, the healing, the miracle, everything. Okay. So our gifts are stored in our causal body. Okay. So our I am, it's in our upper chakras, and we have 7 concentric circles. That's the kingdom. The treasures are there, but we need the key to open the causal body. It's a reservoir of all our qualified energy, momentum of light. And that's the legacy we can leave here. What we have practiced, what we have nurtured and cultivated. We cannot serve and give something we have not cultivated before.
Honestly, I usually I have words. They usually come so easily, but something that struck me as you were talking is the Divine Mother. So I thought, and this would be part of it, is that all of us are longing for that loving, nurturing, and even just the fact that there is a Divine Mother, that a cosmic Divine Mother. And, you know, most of us have grown up with the image of God as being masculine. So that was what I originally thought. But as we're talking, and you're talking about the Divine Mother moving up through us, and that because we're moving into new earth frequencies and we're all being called to do that and invited to do that, there has to be some compassion and some nurturing as we face these the karma, that's the energy that's coming back to us, the shadow aspect of self that we don't really want to look at, because we're all, each one of us has that invitation to raise up and to rise up into the frequency of love, into the frequency of unity consciousness, into the frequency that, you know, that we need in order to experience ourselves as these divine beings. So now it's like, okay, not only was I longing for the Divine Mother, but the Divine Mother is helping me go through this journey of clearing and aligning me more and more and more with my truth as I move up in consciousness, and each chakra being a state of consciousness too, as well as the clearings that need to come up, you know what. And so people that aren't familiar with the chakras, if they went and researched them, they would see that, okay, some of these things are coming up in this aspect because this is something I'm clearing.
Exactly. So if you visualize your pillar of light, your power column, there are 7 main chakras there. So the soul, let's say that the energy starts from below the first chakra, it's coiled there, it's not free, okay? And so it's ready for ascension. So the energy will want to go up, but it goes up to the first temple, the first chakra.
Mhm.
And there it's meeting resistance, unresolved trauma, unresolved fear, an old record. So
Mhm.
unless with the Kundalini, with the life force, we clear that first temple, we can't keep rising, right? So that's what we have to do. We have to clear all our temples, each one of the chakras, okay? So that the soul can meet the spirit, the Father, and they become one. So
Mhm.
the soul is not immortal until it meets spirit. But there is a flight. We have to rise to that, okay? And the beautiful thing about this is that this is orchestrated by divine love. So when we are ready to clear, to do the alchemy on our own energy, it's when the records come to the surface. They can come through other people and life situations that we need to resolve. And we understand, oh, this is a record that I'm clearing. Can come
Right.
through a lucid dream, okay? Can come in your meditation practice in your room when you know there's something to be resolved and you just surrender to that and do the inner clearing. So it's many ways that we are redeeming that misqualified energy. But all the energy that is allotted to us for requalification is what we can take. Every single day, Source is saying, okay, how much energy can this soul redeem today? They just send us that into conscious awareness because it's what we can deal with. We have the power.
Mhm.
We have prepared, we have the tools, okay? So that's why we have sometimes a perception that the more we expand our consciousness, the more we are dealing with. And then we go back and compare to others that are having this joyful life, apparently, and say, oh my God, I'm doing the work and I seem to be, dealing with all this stuff. Yes, because the master source know that I can deal with this. I'm here to clear. So a very serious mistake we make as spiritual seekers sometimes is that we start comparing ourselves with souls who are not clearing or redeeming their karma yet. They seem to have such a wonderful life. Yes. With all my earliest relationships in this incarnation before I awoke, then I had my awakening and I was doing all my inner work. And they seemed to be better off.
Mhm.
They had simpler lives. They had sometimes more access to resources and a good job, and they were happy. And I was, oh my God, like I'm doing the work and they are having all the fun. What's going on here? It took me years to understand because you're taking responsibility. Yeah, you're clearing the house.
Mhm.
So we can't compare our journey to others because we don't know the level of responsibility that we are assuming in this incarnation. And for many souls, I include myself there. This is a knowing for me. I know this is my last incarnation. I want to clear everything now. And something the messenger said before, there has been a dispensation that before we had to redeem 100% of our karma to ascend, and now we only have to redeem 51%.
Oh, yay. That's good.
Then we compensate the other 49 in cosmic service or other
So,
forms of
yeah.
service to humanity, or however we choose to serve the cosmic plan.
Yeah.
So this is really saying before you needed 100%,
Mhm.
and many of the masters that we love, they went on that path. It was tough. Not
Mhm.
many gained their ascension. Even many of the ascended masters we know now, like Jesus, Mary Magdalene, they were sometimes in the temples in Luxor, Egypt, and they didn't pass their initiations. They ran away. It was too much. It was like life or death situation in some initiations. Nowadays, just 51% is what we have to redeem. Okay. Yeah. That's a tipping point, let's call it. We still have to clear all the energy, but we can do it from other realms in other ways, always through cosmic service. Okay. But I would say it's just 51%. So we're in a very, very good position as humanity today.
We sure are. And that's comforting to know. And also, like service, speaking which, maybe we could come around to, well, there's two things. I know that there is a transmission that I think it's a transmission that you're going to be doing, and also your offer, because this is what you're doing. You're being of service to people like me that are so drawn to you, that want to kind of step into their leadership, into their authentic power and move forward. And so, service is a big part of clearing that so that we can. So even when we feel that contraction, and I know this, you know, just stepping into it, it's no longer doesn't have the same energy, but even just a couple months ago, there's that resistance, a little bit of fear, right? That I carry from previous, that I don't even know what I'm carrying, but I'm carrying it. So you are here helping people like me and many others who know that they're being called to serve, but there's a little bit of resistance, a little bit of fear about that. So I know, you tell me, Gaitana, would you prefer to go into the transmission or talk about your offer right now? Like I'm leaving this to you.
So we can merge everything together. So let's start with the transmission, and that will lead
Okay.
to the offering, because that makes sense. So before doing that, service is a requirement of ascension. And why is that? Because service is a catalyst. Because when you serve, you are clearing in you what you're helping others heal from. Yeah. So I have never heard of someone not in service ascending. I would say it's impossible unless the cosmic plan allows for something different, but it will be a novelty on Earth. But we need to serve to ascend. That's what we all came here to do, to experience. Okay. So it's a requirement. It's not a luxury. It's not like a choice which we say, I could serve or not, and I'm choosing to serve. It's a requirement. However, it's not an imposition. It's something that we feel inside. It has to be genuine, authentic, because otherwise it doesn't work. And it comes with spiritual maturity. So having said that, to prepare all the souls listening for higher roles of service or more formal roles of service, I invite all of us to take a deep breath and maybe close our eyes. We will invoke Mother Mary or the Divine Mother. As you connect with the Divine Mother, it can be Isis, it can be Hathor, it can be Devi, Sarasvati, Lakshmi, Durga, Parvati, in any way. Or any feminine mentor. They're all unified, but you have the perception they are feminine. So bring them in, any guide or mentor. Take a deep breath. And so the Divine Mother has given us, through Mother Mary, in our case, a mantra that shall give you the key to step into the 5D reality, into freedom. And that is, I break my own chains to become emancipated. It's an energy package in itself. I break my own chains to become emancipated. What is this saying? Am I waiting for someone to be my liberator? No, it's you. You break your own chains. For that, you have to know that you have chains, that they are an illusion, and to joyfully want to break those chains. Some people are so attached to the ego, so attached to suffering, that when given the option to break their own chains, they still choose the ego because they have identified with suffering. So you ask your soul right now, are you ready? Are you willing to break your own chains? Don't wait for anybody. There's nobody outside of yourself. What are those chains? And this is to become emancipated. Look at this word, emancipation. Absolute permanent freedom from the belief system, from the mass consciousness, from limitation, from pain, from suffering. I break my own chains to become emancipated. So the Mother is giving you the sovereign power to become liberated. And the key here is dignity. You need to know that you deserve it, that you're ready, you don't want to suffer anymore, and you're ready for soul liberation. So I've seen many people, I've done this the first years of my journey. We try sometimes to break these chains with force, complaining, with a lot of pain. And the key here is, how do you break your own chains to become emancipated? Through joy. Because you recognize a higher possibility. You recognize that you deserve to be living as a king, queen, god, goddess, ascended master on earth. So the mother will heal, will anoint the inner child, so that the inner child feels worthy of joy and prosperity. And it's happening through the touch of grace of the Divine Mother today. I break my own chains to become emancipated. The door is already open. Just find the door. Stop choosing suffering. But only you can do that. You can make that choice. And we are in this age of Aquarius, in an age, this is what we are sharing with humanity, when ascension, enlightenment is possible for all now. But who is all? All the willing souls. You need to believe in grace. You need to believe in miracles. You need to believe that there is a golden age that we can co-create together. That's a foundation. You have to believe that the light is here. You have to believe in the victory of the light. And partner, co-create, ally with the Ascended Masters, your mentors, guides, to make that happen. So with this today, we are clearing two specific collective frequencies. The frequency of submission. I hear many souls saying, I don't know how to exit the 3D, 4D. I feel I'm captive to these energies. I don't know how to move to the 5D. So we are clearing the submission, all the fear of liberation, all the obligations to the 3D, 4D. We are clearing that today. And the deeper one is the energy of mourning, the deep grief when we are disillusioned by the egoic creation, and we reclaim heaven and earth, the 5D, the light, knowing that what the ego showed us based in fear was not real. So we are mourning a false creation. Why is mourning and submission needing to be clear today? They are the core energies of depression. What is not allowing humanity to enlighten itself and ascend is depression. I'm not talking about the psychological depression, okay, the medical condition. I'm talking about when the light body is depressed, shut down, contracted. That means there's a lot of entities, low vibrational frequency, not allowing your full splendor, your full enlightenment. So we don't have the luxury of hosting entities, low vibrational frequency in us, because we need the light body activation. So all the ones who are experiencing a certain level of depression, so bad temper, negativity, impossibility, pain, suffering, not having enough energy, suicidal thoughts. I heard many people saying, I'm thinking about committing suicide and exiting the planet. That's very, very common today. Don't punish yourself for that. That's the mass consciousness. Those are all the planetary entities wanting to shut you down because you're a strong, powerful creatrix creator. So don't believe in that force of the shadow. Don't deny it, it's there, but don't believe in it. It's not you. Discern what's coming from God, what's not coming from God, and make the choice to become a sovereign, divine creator, creatrix. You don't deserve to be depressed. Depression is not a natural condition. it has been created by the ego to shut down all the light of the souls, all the light bearers that came here to manifest heaven and earth. So if you feel that shadow pressing onto your energy body, don't make that real. That's testing your mastery. It's giving you the opportunity to make a higher choice. It's not you. Let go. You deserve to be joyful. You deserve to prosper. You deserve the light. You deserve the kingdom. All else is not real. I break my own chains to become emancipated. So whatever you don't like anymore, whatever is not resonating anymore, you have the permission to release that from your mental body, emotional body, physical body, energy body right now. You don't have to tolerate depression or lower entities anymore. The Christ in you, the Buddha in you, the Master in you, the light in you can exorcise, can remove those entities once you make the sovereign choice to be joyful again. I break my own chains to become emancipated. You can make that choice today through the grace of the Divine Mother. And so be it. So let's take a deep breath, give thanks for all the light beings overlighting this session today, knowing that the shift has already happened. The choice has already been made. You're just remembering what your soul has already decided. And in gratitude, receive all the grace of the Divine Mother, so that effort becomes discipline and discipline becomes grace. And you can really experience instant liberation. Doesn't have to take a long time. It can happen now. And very slowly, open your eyes. So knowing this, did you feel anything, Sherry, you would like to share?
Oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. And again, I'm just so struck by the fact that I really don't have much to say right now. And I think I'm just trying to hold that.
That's the
It's
grace.
beautiful.
That's the grace of the Mother. So
Yeah.
holding the grace.
You can be the guest and the interviewer right now.
Why not? So this is how we can link the special offer with this. So basically, our service, we call it Enlightened Education, is something we receive from the Ascended Masters to support human planetary ascension and enlightenment. And we offer two paths, leadership and mastery, and ideally both, right? But it starts with leadership. So the special offer, we are offering 7 attunements. They have been pre-recorded so that you come into alignment with the divine will, you reconnect with purpose, the who I am I, the essence and the purpose, what am I here to do? That's the first thing we have to clarify. Who am I? What am I here to be doing and manifesting? So with those 7 attunements, you have practices, transmissions that you can use on a daily basis to remember. It's creating this momentum of remembrance so that it can really, really align with your soul plan, with the cosmic plan, and start serving the light. And with that, we offer also a Shanti attunement. So Shanti is a symbol that comes from a Reiki system. It's the only thing from Reiki that we use. It's Karuna Reiki, the Reiki of compassion, which is used one of the 8 symbols there, which is a symbol of peace and harmony, so that we can manifest the best possible outcome. And because I have been a Reiki master in the past, I received a full initiation just with this symbol. So it's our take on this, it's our technology. And that's opening the heart, allowing you to clear ancestral energy, to really connect with your soul's longings and desires. And there has to be a clearing in the heart space for that to happen. So all the grief, all the attachments need to be cleared. And we do that very gracefully with a Shanti attunement. Okay, so all this is to help you clear the lower bodies where most of the records and memories are of limitation, and misqualified energy. And then once we ascend the energy to the heart and we can stay there, we have greater options to be ascending, okay, because here we find balance and equilibrium. Okay, so it's very important that we ascend the energy at least to the heart. We are heart-based. And there we can discern better. We have more vitality, more clarity, okay? We can make those deeper choices. We can listen to the voice of the higher self. And that's the foundation, that we're offering for freedom and liberation.
So beautiful. And everything will be listed too for viewers to go and find. But I can only say from my own experience with you, and we've only met a couple times now, and we're going into our third session coming up on Saturday. And yes, it's a big yes. Let it be a big yes. Because sometimes the mind, like my mind can't make sense of what's happening, but I just knew, and I'm pretty darn sure that other people are going to be feeling that too. So you are such a beautiful soul, and your wisdom for sure. Did you say wisdom and illumination? Yeah.
What's wrong in me?
Yeah. Yes, because I was speechless so many times today.
That's basically my light name. Gaitana means the bringer of the light, the victory of the light. I'm kind of this lightning bolt, creating this awakening to truth. So that's my main frequency. And I feel guided to offer something more because we received what we call it a divine union alignment to fully connect with our divine masculine and feminine. It's just 2 very brief affirmations. But for those who want to start with us, the leadership path, this is something we give in one of our trainings, which is called the Sacred Temple of the Heart. That's a practitioner program. But we want to give you this right now so that you take something with you apart from the mantra from Mother Mary. So can I read that? It's just 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Let's all first connect with our divine feminine, the creatrix in us. How do we awaken her? We can say, I am a wise woman. I am free to enjoy infinite health and abundance. I am the source of individual collective freedom. I offer liberation through the Christ consciousness. That's the Divine Mother feminine in us. And the Divine Father masculine. I am a wise man. I am a quantum creator. My service to life impacts everyone and allows us to manifest heaven on earth. So imagine operating from this state of consciousness where your wise man and your wise woman come in co-creation together, offering liberation through the Christ consciousness to manifest heaven on earth. That's the choice right there.
And I think we are experiencing it now. So many people are. And yeah, we may go briefly off that radar for a few blip, but it's like, no, bring me back there. Yeah. And so you are one beautiful teacher and wisdom keeper. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I am so excited to continue my journey with you because I have 3 months with you. So I can only imagine what's going to open. And I really, truly recommend that people, because I know this is a generous offer and it's just getting a taste of what you bring. And not only that, what people get to witness in themselves, right?
And something we discussed before starting this conversation privately, but I want to speak to this because that happened to me and it's happening right now. Along the journey, we will have different mentors. They are kind of attuning different aspects of our soul, okay, and frequencies that we need. So sometimes, and this happened to me also, sometimes we change mentors, we change guides, not only on this human level, planetary level, but also the Ascended Masters. And we feel like an inner conflict that, am I making the right decision? Am I being ungrateful for my other mentor? Does it really need to be happening? So there's all these questions that come with any shift, okay? But with shifting mentors, that happens because we even feel guilty sometimes. Mm-hmm. So speaking from my own private personal experience, I had to change mentors throughout my journey, depending on what I wanted to manifest and bring into my consciousness. So if you are in that moment where you are in that transition, I would say honor your past mentors. You're not leaving them, you are embodying them. You have already integrated those frequencies. So through gratitude, you can keep on moving because you have greater service roles to be stepping into. And that needs a new team, both on earth and in heaven, for that to manifest, okay? So don't feel guilty, don't feel afraid, don't feel that you are not honoring your previous mentors. Every mentor will give you one key. When you integrate that and you open that, you unpack that energy package, that's how their service has been completed. So you move on because the circle has completed. All that was needing to be exchanged has been, so it's a success, and that's how you move forward. Okay.
Beautiful. Another. I do know that's real. Or probably every one of us at some point. So thank you for adding that. I could sit with you all day. I really could. And I know not everybody's going to want to, but honestly, I've so felt this and received this, and I'm so grateful. And that the Divine Mother, oh yeah, this is so beautiful. So thank you for explaining parts of my journey too that I didn't know until our conversation today. And it's like, wow.
Thank you, Sherry, for the invitation, for holding space and for your receptivity, because all this high transmission could come through because you're receptive to this. You're honoring this teaching. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Well, we are going to wrap this one up, but from my heart to yours, I send you and all of the viewers and Loren, you too, you're included in this. Peace, love, and blessings. Namaste, beautiful ones. Bye for now.
This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.